and carry for you.
I haven't said I wanted you back at all.
Oh, indeed. Then what are we talking about?
About you, not about me. If you come back, I'll treat you as I always have. I can't change my nature, and I don't intend on changing my manners. My manners are the same as Colonel Pickering's.
That's not true. He treats a flower girl as if she was a duchess.
And I treat a duchess as if she was a flower girl.
I see. The same to everybody.
Just so.
Like father.
Without accepting your comparison at all points, Eliza, it's quite true that your father is not a snob and would make himself at home to whichever place in life his eccentric destiny may call him. However, the great secret, Eliza, is not treating someone with good manners, or bad manners, or any particular sort of manners, but treating everyone with the same manners. In short, treating them as if they were in heaven, where there are no third-class carriages and one soul is as good as another.
Amen. You're a born preacher.
The question is not whether I have treated you rudely, but whether you have seen me treat anyone better.
I don't care how you treat me. I don't mind your swearing at me. I shouldn't mind a black eye. I've had one before this. But I will not be passed over.
Then get out of my way, for I won't stop for you. You treat me as if I was a motor bus.
So you are a motor bus, all bounce and go, and no consideration for anyone. I can do without you. Don't think I can't.
I know you can. Told you.
No, you did, you brute. You wanted to get rid of me.
Liar!
Thank you.
You never asked yourself, I suppose, whether or not I could do without you.
Don't you try to get round me. You'll have to do without me.
I can do without anyone. I have my own soul and my own spark of divine fire. But I shall miss you, Eliza. I'm grateful for your idiotic notions. I confess that humbly. And I've grown accustomed to your voice and appearance. I like them, rather.
Well, you have both of them in your book of photographs and on your gramophone. When you feel lonely without me, you can turn the machine on. It's got no feelings to hurt.
I can't turn your soul on, Eliza. Leave me those feelings. You can take the face and the voice and the appearance. It's not you.
Oh, you are a devil. You can twist the heart in a girl as easy as some can twist her arms to hurt her. Mrs. Pierce has warned me time and again as she wanted to leave you, and you always got round to her at the last minute. But you don't care a bit for her, and you don't care a bit for me.
I care for life, for humanity, and you're part of it that has come my way and built itself into my house. What more can you or anyone else ask for?
I won't care for anyone who doesn't care for me.
Commercial principles, Eliza. Selling violence, isn't it?
Don't sneer at me. It's mean to sneer at me.
I have never sneered in my life. Sneering doesn't become either the human face or the human soul. I am simply expressing my righteous contempt for commercialism. I don't and won't trade in affection. You call me a brute because you can't buy a claim on me by fetching my slippers and finding my spectacles. Eliza, you're a fool. I think a woman fetching a man's slippers is a disgusting sight. I thought a great deal more of you for throwing them at me. There's no use slaving over me and expecting me to care for you, for who cares for a slave? Come back for the sake of fellowship, for you've had 1,000 times more out of me than I have had out of you. And if you dare put your silly dog tricks of fetching my slippers against my creation of a duchess, I will slam the door in your silly face!
What did you do it for if you didn't care for me?
Because it was my job.
You never thought of the trouble it would make for me.
Would life ever have been made if the Creator had thought of making trouble? Making life means making trouble. The only way to truly escape trouble was by killing things. Cowards, notice, always have been troublesome people killed.
I'm no preacher. I don't notice things like that. I notice that you don't notice me.
I waste the treasure of my Miltonic mind by spreading these things before you. Once and for all, know that I go my way and don't care twopence what happens to either of us. I won't be intimidated like your father and stepmother. So you can come with me or go to the devil, whichever you please.
What am I to come back for?
For the fun of it. That's why I took you on in the first place.
And you may throw me out tomorrow if I don't do everything you want me to.
And you may walk out tomorrow if I don't do everything you want me to.
And live with my stepmother.
Or sell flowers.
If I could only go back to my flower basket, I should be independent of both you and Father and all the world. Why did you take my independence from me? Why did I give it up? I'm a slave now for my fine clothes.
I can adopt you, Eliza. I'll put money down if you like. Or you can marry Colonel Pickering.
I wouldn't marry you if you asked me, and you're nearer my age than what he is.
Then he is not, then what he is.
I'll talk as I like! You're not my teacher now.
Although I suppose you couldn't marry Pickering because, well, he's as conformed as an old bachelor as I am.
That's not what I want, and don't you think it. I've always had chaps enough wanting me that way. Freddie Hill writes to me twice and 3 times a day, sheets and sheets.
With his impudence.
He has a right to if he likes, poor lad, and he does love me.
But you have no right to encourage him.
Every girl has a right to be loved.
Not by fools like that.
Freddie is not a fool. And if he's weak and poor and wants me, maybe he'd make me happier than my betters who bully me and don't want me.
But can he make anything of you? That's the point, Eliza.
Perhaps I could make something of him. But I never thought of us making anything of one another, and you never think of anything else. I only want to be natural.
In short, you want me to be as infatuated with you as Freddie, is that it?
No, I don't. That's not the sort of feeling I want from you. And don't you be too sure of yourself or of me. I could have been a bad girl if I'd liked. I've seen more of some things than you have for all your learning. Girls like me can drag gentlemen down to make love to them easy enough. And they wish each other dead the next minute.
Exactly, Eliza. Then what in thunder are we calling about?
I want a little kindness. I know I'm a common ignorant girl and you're a book-learned gentleman. But I'm not dirt under your feet. What I did was not for the dresses and the taxis. I did it because we were pleasant together and I came to care for you. Not to want you to make love to me and not forgetting the difference between us, but more friendly like.
Eliza, that's what I want. And the Colonel. You're a fool.
It's not a proper answer to give me.
Well, it's all you'll get until you stop being a common idiot. You want to be a lady, but you can't help but sniveling every time. But you can't expect a man to snivel over you half the time and kick you the other half. If you don't like my sort of life, and if you find me cold and unfeeling, then go back to the gutter. Work till you're more brute than a human being, and card and squabble and drink, until you're asleep and... Well, it's a fine life the gutter. It's warm, it's feeling, it's violent. You can feel it with the thickest of skin. You can smell it and taste it without any work or training. Not like science or classical music or art or literature. You find me cold, unfeeling, and selfish. Very well, go back to the people that you like. Marry some sentimental hog with lots of money and a thick pair of lips to kiss you with, and a thick pair of boots to kick you with. If you can't appreciate what you've got, you better get what you can appreciate.
Oh, you are a cruel tyrant. I can't talk to you. You turn everything against me, and I'm always in the wrong. And you know all the time that you are nothing but a bully. You know well I couldn't go back to the gutter, as you call it, and that I have no real friends in the world but you and the Colonel. You know well I couldn't bear to live with a low, common man after you two, and it is wicked and cruel of you to insult me by pretending that I could. You think I must go back to Whittle Street because I've nowhere else to go but Father's. But don't you be too sure of yourself that you have me back under your feet to be trampled on and called names. I'll marry Freddie, I will, just as soon as I'm able to support him.
Freddie? That fool who couldn't get a job as an errand boy if he had the guts to try for it. Eliza, I have made you a consort for a king.
Freddie loves me. That makes him king enough for me. I don't want him to work. He wasn't brought up to it as I was. I'll go and be a teacher.
And what do you teach in heaven's name, Eliza?
What you taught me. I'll teach phonetics.
Ha!
And I'll offer myself as an assistant to that hairy-faced Hungarian.
That imposter! That humbug! They teach him my methods, my discoveries! Eliza, if you take one step in his direction, I will wring your neck! Do you hear?
Ring away. What do I care? I knew you'd strike me someday. Aha! Now I know how to deal with you. What a fool I was to not think of it before. You can't take away the knowledge you've given me. You said I had a finer ear than you. And I can be civil and kind to people, which is more than you can. Aha, that's done you, Henry Higgins, it has. Now I don't care that for your bullying and your big talk. I'll advertise it in papers that your duchess is nothing more than a common flower girl and that she'll teach anyone to be a duchess in the same 6 months for 1,000 guineas. Oh, when I think of myself crawling under your feet to be trampled on and talked down to, when all the time I had only to lift my finger to be as good as you, I could just kick myself.
You impudent woman, you. But it's better than snivelling, and better than fetching my slippers. By George, Eliza, I said I would make a woman out of you, and I have. I like you like this.
Yes, you can turn around and make up to me, else I'm not afraid of you. And can do without you.
Well, of course, Eliza. 5 minutes ago, you were a millstone around my neck. Now, you're a tower of strength, a consort battleship. Come back, and you and I and Pickering can be real bachelors instead of 2 men in a silly gale.
The carriage is waiting, Eliza. Are you ready?
Why? Is the professor coming?
Certainly not. He can't behave himself in church. He makes remarks out loud all the time on the clergyman's pronunciation.
Then I shall not see you again, Professor. Goodbye.
Goodbye, dear.
Goodbye, Mother. Oh, Eliza. Order a ham and cheese Stilton and a pair of reindeer gloves number 8. And buy a new tie to match that suit of mine. You can pick the color.
Number 8s are too small for you if you want them lined with lamb's wool. You have 3 new ties that you've forgotten in the drawer of your washstand. Colonel Pickering prefers double glouced to Stilton, and you don't notice the difference. I telephoned Mrs. Pierce this morning as to not forget the ham. What you are to do without me, I cannot imagine.
I'm afraid you've spoiled the girl, Henry. I should be uneasy about you and her if she were less fond of Colonel Pickering.
Pickering? Nonsense! She's going to marry Freddie! Can you believe that? Freddie!